I call this meeting to order. It's an emergency meeting. I have some information to read. The governor has declared a state of emergency to exist in California as a result of the threat of COVID-19, also known as the coronavirus. The governor also issued Executive Order N-33-20, which directs Californians to follow the public health directives, including canceling large gatherings. The executive order also allows local legislative bodies to hold meetings via conference calls while still meeting state transparency requirements. The public's health and well-being are the top priority of the city of Yuba City, and you are urged to take all appropriate health safety precautions. How to participate in this virtual meeting. This meeting is utilizing Zoom application for this live broadcast. For this meeting, we will be using the questions and answers functionality of this tool. In order to accommodate public comment on your device, the questions and answers section of the app is located at the bottom of your Zoom screen. For those that would like to comment during this meeting, please enter your comment into the questions and answers portion of the app and be sure to state the item you will be commenting on. May I have roll call, please?
Mayor Boomgarden?
Here.
Vice Mayor Shaw? Councilmember Espandola?
Here.
Councilmember Harris?
Here.
Councilmember Kirchner?
Here.
All right. We will go ahead and open an open session. First items, number 1, appearance of interested citizens. You are welcome and encouraged to participate in this meeting. Public comment is taken on items listed on the agenda when they are called. Public comment on items not listed on the agenda will be considered at this time. Comments on controversial items may be limited, and large groups are encouraged to select representatives to express the opinions of the group. Public comments on items on the agenda are taken during the council's consideration of each agenda item. If you wish to comment on any item appearing on the agenda, please note the number of the agenda item about which you wish to comment. If you wish to comment on more than one item, please send an email for each item. Items not listed on the agenda. Public comments on items not listed on the agenda will be considered at this time. Any comments from the public? We'll go to online first.
Heather Essman would appreciate an open meeting tonight.
Okay, thank you for your comment. Comments from the public? None in the chambers? All right. Seeing none, we'll move to item 2, closed session. Let the record show that Vice Mayor Shaw has joined us. Closed session, threats to public services or facilities pursuant to Government Code Section 54957, parentheses A, consultation with the city attorney and or Yuba City Fire Chief, Police Chief, or Director of Public Works, Interim City Manager. At this time, we would need to vote to whether to go into closed session for this item, which is something that we have traditionally done when it comes to dealing with these matters. I would entertain conversation, communication, or a vote or a motion.
Unless there's conversation, I'll move that we move into closed session.
I second.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
before we take a vote, would you open the matter to the public for comment?
I can do that. I had that note. It was just below that, sorry. Any additional public comment on the item of closed session?
No additional comments.
No additional comment. I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? There being none, let's go ahead. All those in favor of moving into closed session, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? No opposition. City Council will adjourn into closed session in the Sutter Room. We will return to open session at the conclusion of the closed session. Right? Are you ready, Mr. City Attorney?
I'm ready, thank you.
Do I have to bang the hammer?
If you prefer.
No, that's okay. Okay, well, we have adjourned from closed session. Any items to report out of closed session?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. There's no reportable action taken in closed session.
Okay, now we're back to item 3, discussion and action on measures to mitigate the impacts of COVID-19, the pandemic. I think really the only item is that we were briefed by city staff on plans, and those continue. And I don't know if Councilwoman Espandola wants to have a comment. We'll start at that end of the dais.
Mr. Mayor, before we get started, just as a reminder that we don't want conversations of items that were said in closed session.
Understand.
To the extent that they're confidential.
Yep.
And that this action item is here for any staff to brief you or any questions you may have for staff that you would like to ask in open session as well.
Appreciate that. Any questions?
No, no questions.
Okay. Mr. Harris? Vice Mayor? Mr. Kirchner?
No questions.
I have none either. With that, this meeting will stand.
I'm so sorry. I know you want to pound the gavel, but we just need to check, see if there's any public comment.
Oh, I know what you're saying. It doesn't say that on my script. Do we have any comments from the public, please?
We have a comment from Tim Core. Why is the closed session meeting not happening at the end of all other agenda topics? What is being discussed that needs to be discussed prior to item 3?
Mr. Mayor, do you mind if I respond to this question if I could?
I would appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Yes, the closed sessions are traditionally held at the beginning of the meetings and prior to the regular meeting starting. It just so happened that because this was an emergency meeting, we had to undergo a different process where we had to make the decision, or the council had to vote on the decision to go into closed session and open session. So it resulted in an unusual circumstance where we had open session, closed session, then open session, rather than open session, and then closed session, or closed session, then open session. So basically, this is an emergency meeting. There's a different process that applied. As for the items discussed in closed session, that's described in the title. That would be threats to public facilities and to public services. Obviously, there's certain threats that are posed by COVID with regards to, among other things, police, fire, and the ability to provide city services and protection that would be confidential and would not be something for general public dissemination with regards to how to handle those items. However, addressing these items in public items, or addressing the public portion can be done. This item for the open session has been added so that if the city council needed to take any sort of appropriate action or to receive public comment from the public, we could do so at this time. So I hope that answers the question.
Thank you. I heard him. Okay. Anything else on the computer, Sierra?
It sounds like we're having some audio issues hearing Shannon.
Do you want me to give the synopsis?
Right, yeah, Brian's checking the audio right now.
Towards the camera, the speakers are on top.
Do a test.
Brian, can you hear me now? I'm hoping that you can. Testing 1, 2, 3, 3 to 5, 5 to 7.
He says that's a little better.
Okay, fantastic. The synopsis is this. The city council traditionally has closed session first. However, because this is an emergency meeting, there are special procedures that apply, which is the reason why it was done differently this time. What was discussed in closed session is outlined in the agenda title. It has to do with threats to public facilities and services related to COVID-19 and how the city is doing that. Many of those things are confidential given the nature of the security issues that are involved and are not typically discussed in open session. However, to the extent that there are any questions, the public can certainly ask them now, or the city council can take action as appropriate. I hope that came through.
There are no additional comments.
Let's wait for a second to see if Mr. Core wants to respond. So nothing?
He was able to hear this time. Thank you.
Okay, great. No further questions? No, nothing from the public? Then at this point, this meeting will stand adjourned.
Thank you, everyone. Take care and have a good night.
Thank you, Shannon.